Did you know that any sewing machine that can stitch a zigzag can actually use a twin needle or a double needle? So I'm going to show you how we thread up for a double needle, how we select stitches, and how we can reduce the width so we don't break our needle going off the edge of the foot. So first off, when needles are twin needles or double needles, there's a little number down here such as 3.0. That's the distance between the two needles, 3 millimeters. This one's a little larger at 4 millimeters, and this one's a little smaller at 2 millimeters. Now, you can use this for straight stitching, great top stitching feature. You can do them for pin tucks, just like it shows here on the package. We're going to do some stitching with decorative stitches, which is amazing because if you've stitched out your decorative stitches like we've recommended, you can do it all over again with a twin needle. So first off, before I do anything, I'm going to go into the settings of the machine and tell the machine I am going to put a twin needle on. When this is highlighted, you can actually adjust that to be the size of twin needle up to 3.0. So no 4.0 double needles on this machine. So we can go all the way down to 1.6, 2, 2.5, and 3. All right, sure enough, as high as 3. So now when we look at the screen, we see that double needle limitation. And what it'll do is make sure that I don't move that needle or pick a stitch too big that it breaks on the edge of the foot. So this little reminder is going to pop up when I get all the way too far to the side. Okay, so to thread for a double needle, I'm going to actually unthread the machine right now and thread these two threads together. Now, I do have a fairly heavy variegated thread, and I say heavy because the spool is actually physically heavy. So I'm not a fan of having this one be the one that stands up and have to pull on that big spool to make it spin. If you have a heavy spool that you are working with the twin needle with, you might consider a thread stand. But my second spool is going to be this one, and as you can see, I'm at least halfway through this spool. So it'll be okay putting it on the vertical spool pin, put one of the spool caps down, put a little felt pad, and then put your spool on that. But again, I am a big fan of thread stands, so if you have one or need to get one, those are great to handle decorative threads, fussy threads, metallic threads, clear threads, those types of things. But for today, this will work just fine. So I'm taking both the threads through the first two guides as normal, but right here at the top, right where your tension is, you're going to notice there's a little fin. You can almost hear it kind of flipping and flopping back and forth. What I want to do is actually separate the two threads, put one on one side and one on the other of that fin. Make sure you give them a little pull. So make sure they go nice and deep into the tension discs. Each thread is going to get its own equal tension on this machine. Love that. Take the threads and continue threading all the way down to the very end, except when we go to put the double needle in, you will find that your needle threader will not work. So you will need to thread this by yourself. And if you have trouble threading needles, remember there are handheld needle threaders that your Pfaff store could help you out with. But for today, I think I should be okay. Let's see how we're doing. It doesn't matter which thread goes in which needle. So I'm going to just take one and put it through the right needle. And the other one through the left. So your bobbin is going to just do a zigzag on the back of your fabric. So it's pretty amazing. It looks a little different on the back than you might expect. So we're going to start off with a straight stitch just to see if we have everything threaded correctly. And then we'll head over to some of the decorative stitches. I usually start sewing a little bit slowly just to make sure everything's sounding good, looking good, which I can tell we're okay right now. So as I pick, for example, a zigzag, let's go to stitch number 5, and the machine will make sure that I'm not going to overstep my boundaries. It has actually limited it all the way down. Now you'd be amazed at some of these great utility stitches. Let's do stitch number 12. What they look like when you stitch them. Yes, I know. Okay, so some stitches might come up and say, don't use these. How about 15? Aha. All right. So it's just going to go ahead. We'll see what this looks like. Some stitches will look better than others. I'm seeing already this is not going to be my favorite stitch. So let me go to like 161. Let's start going decorative stitches. Yes, some of them are going to tell you you can't do it there. 166, try that. Nope. Okay, so let's do, how about 57? Next, how about 68? So this is going to be, this one should work, yes. So it's kind of a stitch that's actually, here, let me show you what we're looking at. Oh, how pretty. Especially when you have variegated thread. I love variegated thread. Okay, so let's just go ahead. So this is kind of like a little wavy stitch. So this looks really good with a double needle. And I wonder if I can make that. Nope, I can't make it any bigger. It's already limited it for me. How about 65? I think we're in the right category. No? And, okay, well the machine is smart, so let it make sure not to overstep any boundaries that would make, it's making sure I don't break the needle. So that's okay. All right, so you can see you can have some fun with some stitches when you pick them for double needle work.